Boom. Getting through difficult upbringings. I'm going to start off real quick. No introduction, no nothing. I want you guys to put yourselves in the shoes of your younger self. 9 years old. I don't know your timeline, but bring yourself back to a moment where something bad happened, something difficult happened. I want you to now that you're there, I want you to take a really deep breath through your nose and out your mouth. And I want you to stay there for a second. I want you to be there in the moment that you experience that, but watching it in your current self right here, right now, with everything that you represent right here, right now, with your current age, just who you are, exactly what you're wearing right now. Put yourself in the room observing that happening. Put yourself in that room. Now you're there, yeah? I want you to observe what's actually happening. And I don't want you to just observe what was happening, but I want you to go up to the younger version of yourself, pull them out of it, and give them a really big hug. Just give them a really big hug. Be the person in this moment that you needed in that moment. Be that person. Because psychologically, something changes when you do this. There's a space that's created when you do this. And I personally don't have any philosophy or psychological references to reference from, but what I do have is my own experience. And this is something that I personally did to get through so many painful experiences that I've been through. I took myself back to the moment and I allowed myself support in my current self. I teleported mentally into that time period of my life and I allowed myself space for healing. I gave myself a hug. I gave myself the hug that I needed in that point of time. I telling myself it's going to be okay, my G. I want you to tell yourself it's going to be okay. I want you to remind yourself in that point of time that it is going to be okay and that you'll make it out. Talk to your younger self. Build a connection with your younger self, because if you just ignore these things, and of course, it's gonna come back around. You're ignoring the version of yourself that went through these things. If you don't first just go to that version of yourself and just give them a big, warm, tight squeeze of a hug, they're gonna continue to feel abandoned, and there's gonna be a part of you that's gonna continue to feel abandoned. Not every single part of us, not every single version of us has that light. Not every single part of us has been given the attention that it needs. In the same way as you might not feel like you were given the attention that you needed at that point in time. Now, we need to give ourselves that attention. Now, we need to actually put ourselves in the driving seat of our healing experience, because there's not a psychologist, there's not a therapist, there's not a doctor that understands your internal workings better than yourself, that understands the nuanced memories that you have encased in your mental brain, in your memories. They don't have that. They don't have the catalogue of information. They don't have the database of memories that you have. But you personally can take time to go through your folder and actually just understand what is the contents of this file, what is the contents of this memory, how has it made me feel, who was the other person being in at that time, why was that person being that way. Growing to understand these things allows you the space, time, and energy to actually reflect and be able to get through it as well, right? Now, coming back to when I said go back to a painful time. Yeah, some of us have more than just one painful time, right? So, the way that I've managed to get through this, is to be able to build a timeline. Yeah, an actual timeline from the day that I could remember having painful experiences, and every single painful experience until the present moment. I did this in first year of university about 6 years ago now, and it really helped me to be able to go back to each of those times and give myself hugs in each and every single one of those times. So then now, at this point, I can look into those experiences. I can tap into the energy of those experiences and not feel as much pain as I did before. I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm actually one with the emotion. I'm one with the supporting force of nature that I actually needed at that point in time, and I give it to myself. And I feel a space within myself that's created from my own being able to do that for myself. And this sounds like a lot of ego, and I don't want to take all of the credit for it. Like, I understand that I've been given the blessing to be able to do this, and I'm really on that as well. The only way that I can communicate it is using I as a reference, and some people might see that as ego, but I also believe that ego is necessary to be able to understand these lessons. Build a timeline. It might be too difficult for you to do that now, but I can promise you that that is a really powerful way that I don't see anyone really talk about. The reason that I don't see many people talk about it is because this is my own personal way. This is something that I created for myself. This is something that I didn't get advice on. I basically just thought of it. I just thought in the first year of my university, if I wanted to continue living a really good life, if I wanted to create a great life, that I needed to look into my past and think, I need to solve that. I needed to solve all of the things I experienced in order to actually become the person that I wanted to become. I knew I had a lot of things that I had to figure out, resolve, heal, and manage to be able to get to the level of my life that I am being able to see and achieve at this point in my life. And it's actually a really beautiful journey, because to heal yourself is to heal the world. Because if you heal a part of yourself and you're a part of the world, you heal the world. And the lessons that you bring to other people are going to be absolutely incredible, and you're going to be delivering so many people from the anguish that they've experienced. I've done this countless times. I don't know the amount of people who have actually listened to the words that I've said, and it's actually allowed them the space, time, energy to heal through the experiences that they've actually experienced throughout their life. You are the person who's in the driver's seat of healing. The vehicle of healing is going to be driven not just by yourself, but by the energies that have constructed the vehicle as well. Sometimes your vehicle of healing just isn't carefully constructed. There might be some dismissal there. There might be some denial there. There might be some delusion there. It's upon you to be able to understand the vehicle that you're operating in and be able to swap and change out different parts to make it more efficient. And be flexible with that. Be flexible with change. Be ready to adapt. Be ready to confront the harsh feelings that you've been ignoring, because it's easier to confront them now versus letting them hang until you're 50, 60, 70, then you have so many deep regrets because you wish that you just looked at them before in your past. I know so many people in that. I know so many people who probably would go to the grave that just knowing that they didn't ever confront these difficult emotions. Heaven is a construct that you live in, and so is hell. And so is purgatory, and so is limbo. All of these constructs and ideas that reside in the mind of a human being. We've created these things. We've created these concepts as extreme ways of discussing experiences that we share. I know people who live in hell. I know people who live in heaven. I know people who think that they live in heaven, are chasing heaven, who are actually chasing hellish states of being. Who are you going to be? And how are you going to heal the things that you need to heal to become the person that you need to become? And this is just the words of one 25-year-old that learned to actually get through these things. So take my words or not, it's completely up to you. Be ready to use them though when the time is right. I think that's all I've got to say. If any of these things strike any sort of chords and you feel like a conversation would help you, and I know a conversation would help you, I know it would. It's just whether or not you believe that, and that's okay. My email is myname@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure I've got it linked down below. Please send me an email, like this video, just comment, and we can organize something, because I really want to help you guys through this experience that we all share. And that's 10 minutes. Have a lovely day. Adios.